Alright guys, we are at the long range today. There is nobody here. We're in Houston, Missouri. This is the 6th day of February. Just me and my trusty old Toyota, the Rim X, and the Arken. The goal of today's video is to see if we can see 22 bullets out to 300 yards, actually hits on paper. So there are white pieces of paper out there, out to 300 yards. There's 300. Then over at 400 yards, I have a golf ball on that piece of paper there. Again guys, we're by ourselves. I don't have a spotting scope. As you can see, I just got my camera and my gun. That's how I normally shoot. I didn't even bring a pair of binos. If you run the right optic, you can typically take care of everything you need to take care of through that optic, unless you're shooting with somebody that will spot for you. So I do a lot of practicing by myself. This is how I shoot. We're going to see if this guy right here, the EP5, lives up to the challenge. Now my Chronos, I could bring my Chronos out here and not have any issue with any of this. So we're going to compare them and see. Alright guys, we're all set up for the 200 yard. We're going to check and see if we can see our hits, spot our hits at 200 on a white piece of paper. Let me get loaded up here with some 10X. Stand by. Shoot a few rounds and see if I can see the hits on paper. I haven't shot a single shot yet. I just dialed in my dope. We're at 24 minutes. And we're going to see if we can see anything on paper out at 200 yards. Make sure the parallax is good. That's one thing I'm finding about this scope, is the parallax is a little bit finicky. You notice me move my head back and forth there, trying to get that parallax tight. There you go. The parallax tightened up at right at 200, but then the target's blurry. Alright, hopefully that works right there. I'm getting a little bit of chromatic aberration at 25 power at 200 yards. Okay, we're shooting a little bit right. Okay, so I can see my shots at 200. I can plainly see them on that white piece of paper. My dope is a little high. There's a thumbtack out there at 200 yards. Okay guys, so I almost hit a thumbtack out there at 200 yards. That was a pretty easy deal. I'll show you the targets here when we go down range to get the targets. I'm not going to shoot anymore at 200. I can see my shots at 200. Now we're going to move to 300 and see how that works. 300 is calling for 45 minutes. So there's 25, there's 35, 45 minutes. Now what I like about this Arken scope is that double layer count there of numbers is awesome. So we're at 300 yards now. Okay, we're just shooting at a big white piece of paper. And all I want to see is if I can see my hits on there at 300 yards. Be helpful if it had some ammo in it. Here we go. 300 yards on a white piece of paper. No read on that one. like that might be a little high. Okay guys, you're seeing this cold. I'm not cutting anything. I'm just, that one was low right of the paper. I can actually see that hole. Okay, I see my first shot now. My first shot was right above center. And I think that one was in the square. So I can see my hits at 300 yards. A white piece of paper at 300 yards. Now we're going to move to 400. Okay, I'm after that bear out there at 400. It's a touch over 400 yards. That was a hit on that bear at 400. That was another hit on that bear at 400. Going back to the golf ball. I cannot see the hits on the bear at 400 yards. I knew I hit it because I could hear it. Okay guys, one thing I did not show in the video was a 300-yard golf ball. I shot at 15 rounds and was able to hit it 4 out of 15 times at 300 yards, okay? My camera kind of failed on me because it was moist outside. Camera gear doesn't do real good in the moisture, so I had one of my older cameras, but we never got a hit on the golf ball at 400 yards. We were basically flying blind at 400. I could not see the splash marks on the bear at 400 yards. I could hear it hitting, but I couldn't see the splash marks. So what does that tell me about this optic? Well, that tells me this optic is a good optic for 300 yards and in, okay? Great 22 ELR, or let me repeat that. A good 22 PRS style scope. If you're going to do some precision shooting 300 yards and in with a 22, this scope would work, okay? If you want to go out by yourself and spot your shots past 300 yards, you're going to have issues with this scope, okay? Now on some days it might be better, but on that particular day I could not see my shots where I know I could through my Chronos or my Maven or the other optics that I use, okay? So there's a reason I use those optics. Guys, I appreciate you watching. I hope this video helps answer some questions. I know there's a lot of questions out there. I do have some Midas tacks coming in, 5 to 25s. I'm hearing a lot of good things about the Midas tacks. They set in a little higher price range. I'm thinking about testing them next on this gun. This scope here is going to move to an ELR gun. Going to do a little testing with it. I don't think the optical clarity thing is going to be fixed by moving it to a different gun. I know that for a fact. All I want to do is see how it compares to other things that I've shot. Now there's a reason why I use the optics I use, is because I've been other places already. All right, guys, this is the end of the video. I appreciate you watching the video all the way through. I appreciate all new subscribers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. This is Mike from Panther Hollow. We'll see you in the next video.